So I want you to just imagine sitting at your kitchen table, drinking your morning coffee.
Right, just a normal morning.
Yeah, exactly. And your phone rings. You glance down at the screen and, well, it's an unknown number.
Which nobody answers anymore, but sure.
Right. But for some reason, you answer it anyway. And the voice on the other end of the line is, well, it's yours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and not just like a recording of you from 5 years ago or something. It's your voice right now, responding to you in real time, matching your cadence, your slang, like your exact breathing patterns.
That is deeply unsettling.
Right. Or imagine waking up, checking your bank account, and seeing a massive deposit because a digital version of yourself just finished handling, I don't know, a dozen client meetings and teaching a university seminar and closing a real estate deal while you were just fast asleep in your bed.
I mean, it sounds like the inciting incident of a dystopian thriller, right? Like something safely confined to a streaming platform.
Yeah, totally.
But the reality is the underlying infrastructure for this exact scenario is, well, it's operating right now. We are actively deploying these technologies across major industries as we speak.
And that is exactly the mission of this deep dive today. We are exploring the wild, uncharted, and frankly just mind-bending legal frontier of digital twins.
It is definitely a frontier.
It really is. And our source for today's exploration is a brilliant set of insights from advocate Manoj Ambat of Ambat Legal Insight. They are actively mapping out how the law actually has to evolve to handle artificial intelligence and identity.
Which is a massive, massive undertaking.
Huge. So, okay, let's unpack this. We're going to be diving into what exactly a digital twin is, the billion-dollar question of who actually owns you in the digital age, the unprecedented business opportunities, and of course the terrifying potential for fraud.
Yeah, especially when our legal definitions of evidence just completely break down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, the absolute wildest question of all, what happens to your digital identity after you die?
It is a massive legal landscape to cover, for sure.
Where do we even start?
Well, to set the stage here, the core friction we are facing is really a fundamental mismatch of paradigms.
So?
I mean, our entire global legal framework was written to govern static things. It was built for paper documents, photographs, physical property, static personal information.
Right. Things that don't change on their own.
Exactly. It was absolutely not built to govern intelligent, dynamic, interactive replicas of human beings that can just independently generate new ideas.
That makes total sense. But I guess before we figure out who owns this digital version of you, we have to look at, the lineage of the technology itself.
Yeah, the history of it is really interesting.
Because the concept of a digital twin didn't just pop out of some Silicon Valley social media lab, right?
Yeah.
It actually started on the factory floor.
It did, yeah. It originated in heavy engineering and manufacturing.
Like car factories and stuff.
Kind of, but even bigger. Decades ago, companies building massive industrial equipment, so we're talking like jet engines or these huge manufacturing turbines, they would create virtual mathematical copies of their physical machines.
Oh, wow. So they had a virtual jet engine.
Exactly. They built a digital replica that was fed by real-world sensor data, and they did this to predict, when the physical machine would experience metal fatigue.
Right.
Or to test out extreme weather modifications in a virtual space, before putting a $100 million turbine at risk in the real world.
So it's basically a high-stakes video game simulator.
Pretty much.
You run the data through the virtual model, you see where the engine catches fire, and then, you just don't do that in reality.
Precisely. It saves millions of dollars.
But the conceptual leap here is staggering. I mean, we took a framework designed to simulate mechanical stress on steel, and we basically applied it to human intellect and personality.
Yeah, and that leap from simulating a machine to simulating a human is exactly where the technology totally outpaced our legal vocabulary.
Because machines don't have personalities.
Exactly. When an aerospace company builds a digital twin of an engine, the intellectual property is crystal clear. They own the physical engine, they own the software, they own the simulation.
Right, there's no debate there.
But today's digital human twins aren't just 3D cosmetic models of your face. They are virtual entities that process your past online behavior, your writing style, and your professional expertise.
To do what?
To dynamically generate new responses. So they don't just mimic what you've already said, they predict how you would think in a brand new situation.
Wow. Okay, so if you are listening to this right now, you're probably thinking the exact same thing I am.
Which is?
If there's a perfect replica of me out there operating in the world, The ownership question seems like a no-brainer.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah. I mean, if an AI company scrapes my YouTube channel, my podcast appearances, my published articles, and, my social media to build a digital me, I naturally own it.
It seems intuitive.
Because I created the original content. It looks like me, it sounds like me, it represents my lived experience, therefore it is my property, period.
Well, what's fascinating here is the law fundamentally rejects that logic.
Wait, really? How?
Yeah, if we look at the actual property mechanics, you have to dissect the twin into its constituent legal parts.
Okay, break that down for me.
So the AI company, they own the neural network architecture. The developers, they own the proprietary algorithms that actually process the data.
But what about my data? My videos?
Well, the training data itself, your videos, your articles, often exists in this massive gray area where terms of service agreements have basically silently stripped away your exclusive commercial rights.
Just from using the platform?
Yeah, the exact moment you clicked upload, you likely gave them a broad license to use that data.
That highlights this massive, just glaring absurdity in how we handle consent.
It really does.
Because, consent has always been the bedrock of privacy law. But when I upload a video of myself explaining a concept on YouTube or whatever, I am intending for a human being to watch it, process it, and maybe learn something.
Exactly. You're expecting a human audience.
Right. I am giving passive consumption rights. It's like giving someone permission to write a book I wrote. I'm absolutely not giving someone permission to extract the mathematical weights of my facial expressions and vocal cords to clone my brain.
Yeah, and launch a competing business under your likeness.
Exactly.
It's insane.
You are identifying the absolute most critical gap in modern intellectual property law right now. There is an enormous legal chasm between publishing content to be viewed and publishing content to be actively harvested for identity replication.
It's two completely different things.
Exactly. Under current frameworks, copyright law requires a human author. So if an AI generates a new article in your exact voice, you actually don't hold the copyright to that new article.
Because I didn't type it out myself.
Right. You didn't physically write it, so you don't own it. And I guess my right of publicity, the law that keeps a soda company from just slapping my face on a billboard without paying me, that doesn't neatly cover an AI that just writes emails in my distinct rhetorical style, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's a massive gray area.
It's basically the difference between looking at a painting and stealing the artist's hands.
That is a perfect analogy. Publishing information should never implicitly constitute a license for identity cloning.
So what do we do?
Well, future legislation is going to be forced to mandate explicit, granular frameworks for commercial licensing of personal data, specifically for AI training.
So like a separate checkbox that says, yes, you can clone me.
Basically, yeah. Because without those safeguards, we are functioning in an environment where millions of people are unknowingly providing the raw biographical material to build systems that will ultimately commercialize their own identities.
Without them ever seeing a single dime. Man, that's dark. But if these digital twins are going to be generating legitimate revenue, it makes sense why the tech industry is just sprinting toward this despite all these legal voids.
Oh, absolutely. The financial incentives are just too big to ignore.
Right, because the commercial upside is entirely unconstrained by physics. We are talking about the ultimate 2047 digital employee.
The business applications scale across literally every conceivable industry. You are no longer bottlenecked by the hours in a day or, your biological need for sleep.
Right, just think about a highly sought-after medical specialist. Currently, they are fundamentally limited by the number of patient consultations they can physically conduct in a day.
There are only so many hours.
Yeah. But their specialized digital twin could be conducting preliminary diagnostic interviews with thousands of patients simultaneously.
In 50 different languages.
Right, at 3 a.m. Or a senior partner at a law firm could have their AI twin breaking down complex litigation strategies for clients around the globe.
Before those clients even step foot in the office or sign a retainer.
It's incredible. And content creators, too.
Oh, in the media and entertainment space, the implications are equally disruptive.
How so?
Well, an author doesn't just write a book anymore. Their digital twin can hold personalized, interactive book club discussions with individual readers worldwide all at the same time.
That is wild.
Educational creators can license their twin to universities to provide bespoke, one-on-one tutoring for thousands of students. The underlying asset isn't just their static knowledge anymore.
It is their actual interactive presence.
Precisely.
But when a digital twin transitions from being just a cool novelty to a primary revenue generator, I mean, bringing in millions of dollars a year, the friction over the money is going to be spectacular.
Oh, it's going to be a legal nightmare.
Like if my digital twin closes a massive consulting contract, the AI company hosting the server is absolutely going to argue they're entitled to a massive cut, right?
Of course, because they'll say their algorithms facilitated the thought process that closed the deal. We will see an entirely new branch of contract law emerge just to handle these revenue splits between human creators and the platforms hosting their digital surrogates.
It's like franchising yourself.
Yes, you will be licensing your personality the exact same way a corporation franchises a restaurant brand. It'll come complete with quality control clauses, geographic limitations, and massive liability waivers.
So crazy. But if the financial incentives for legitimate businesses are this astronomical, it really doesn't take a leap of imagination to see what happens when bad actors get their hands on the exact same technology.
Sadly, that's always the case.
And here's where it gets really interesting and deeply concerning. Because the exact same infrastructure that allows a doctor to diagnose patients globally is the infrastructure that facilitates devastating identity fraud.
Right, because the underlying algorithms are morally neutral.
They don't care if you're a doctor or a scammer.
Exactly. The ability to synthesize a voice perfectly is just a tool. The application is what dictates the legality.
And we are already seeing the early stages of this, right? With deepfakes and voice cloning.
It's becoming surprisingly common, unfortunately.
Criminals are scraping like 3 seconds of audio from a teenager's public TikTok account, cloning the voice, and then calling the parents demanding a ransom.
It's terrifying.
And the parents hear their own child crying and pleading in real time. Or corporate finance officers are getting on video calls with people they fully believe are their CEOs.
Right, who look and sound absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and they end up authorizing millions in fraudulent wire transfers.
And this forces a massive crisis within the justice system itself.
How does the court even handle that?
That's the problem. Our courts rely on established methods of authentication. If a prosecutor introduces a recorded confession, or say a defense attorney introduces an alibi video, what happens?
Usually they check if it's real, right?
Digital forensic experts currently look for metadata, they analyze the chain of custody, and they check for tampering artifacts, like signs a file was edited.
But an AI video isn't edited.
Exactly. AI doesn't just alter a file. It generates a completely new, pristine file with immaculate, artificially generated metadata.
So it fundamentally breaks the chain of custody.
Completely shatters it.
I mean, how does a judge or a jury evaluate evidence when the digital forgery is literally mathematically indistinguishable from original camera footage?
It's a massive challenge.
It seems to me the only way out of this is like a mandatory digital watermark, some kind of cryptographic stamp baked right into the hardware level of every AI generation tool.
Well, this raises an important question, one that really pushes past mere technological band-aids and gets into legal philosophy.
Okay, lay it on me.
The idea of a watermark works for compliant, commercially licensed AI models. The big companies will play along.
Right.
But the moment you have open source models running locally on decentralized servers in some random basement, enforcement becomes impossible.
Oh, because anyone could just strip the watermark out.
Exactly. So the legal system is going to have to redefine the concept of authenticity from the ground up. We may literally reach a point where digital evidence is presumed fabricated by default unless it is cryptographically signed by a verified physical human at the exact moment of creation.
We are talking about flipping the entire burden of proof.
Basically, yes.
Okay, let's take this concept of an autonomous, interactive digital asset and just stretch it to its absolute limit.
Let's do it.
We've established your digital twin can operate while you are asleep,
Yeah.
generating revenue, interacting with the world, doing its thing.
Right.
So, what happens when you enter the permanent sleep?
Right. Yes.
What actually happens to the twin when the biological human dies?
The concept of the digital ghost. This is honestly the frontier where property law, privacy law, and just existential philosophy all collide head on.
Because traditional inheritance law is built for static assets.
Right.
Like, I write a will, and my house transfers to my daughter. My stock portfolio transfers to a trust.
Person A gives to person B.
Exactly. A goes to B, and the asset just sits there. But a digital twin is a dynamic behavior-generating entity. How do you pass down an asset that still talks, learns, and makes independent decisions?
You're hitting on why traditional estate planning completely fails here. I mean, a bank account doesn't wake up the day after you die and decide to give a highly controversial interview to a magazine, right?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
But a digital twin might. So the immediate legal hurdle we have to face is determining whether a simulated persona even possesses the legal right to continue operating post-mortem.
Right, like does it just get permanently deleted, or does it become a legacy asset that's managed by the estate?
And if it does become a legacy asset, the complexities multiply exponentially.
I can only imagine.
Think about it. Does your family automatically assume administrative control? Can your digital ghost continue to publish new content?
And if it signs a new commercial contract, who is legally bound by it? My dead body.
Exactly. Or worse, what if the twin hallucinates and gives defamatory advice that totally ruins a company's reputation? Can the victim sue your physical estate, draining the actual inheritance of your biological children?
Oh my God. It transforms the role of an estate executor from someone who just distributes money into someone who acts as like a talent manager and compliance officer for a deceased person's software.
That's exactly what it becomes.
You can't just leave a standard will anymore. You would need a hyper-specific behavioral mandate saying, you know, my twin is authorized to continue teaching my archived university courses, but it is strictly prohibited from endorsing commercial products or commenting on new political events.
Precisely. Estate planners are going to have to draft these massive digital persona directives detailing the exact parameters of the AI's ongoing autonomy.
This sounds incredibly expensive.
Oh, it will be. They will need to establish entirely distinct trusts just to handle the server costs, the platform revenue, and the liability insurance required just to keep a digital ghost operational.
That is just wow. But with all these massive structural legal voids, from establishing initial consent to authenticating reality in a courtroom to managing dynamic post-death estates, someone has to actually write the rule book.
Someone has to take the lead.
Right. And Advocate Ambat's insights specifically highlight that India is uniquely positioned to lead this global regulatory charge.
Yeah, and the geopolitical positioning for that makes perfect sense if you look at it.
Why is that?
Well, India possesses one of the world's largest, most hyper-connected digital populations, so it is naturally generating a staggering volume of training data every single day.
Makes sense.
And simultaneously, it is scaling rapidly as a massive global hub for AI innovation and engineering talent.
But wouldn't standard data protection laws like, I don't know, Europe's GDPR or India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act, aren't those enough?
Not even close. Protecting a static credit card number or a medical record from a data breach is entirely different from regulating an interactive persona that is actively representing you in the marketplace.
Right, because data protection laws are defensive.
Exactly. They restrict access. But regulating digital twins requires a proactive framework. Any comprehensive legislation is going to have to establish definitive digital personality rights,
granting individuals exclusive control over their simulated likeness.
and their behavioral patterns, yes. Plus, it absolutely must address cross-border jurisdictional nightmares.
Because the internet doesn't have borders.
Right. An AI hosted on a server in one country can easily impersonate a citizen of a second country to defraud a business in a third country. It's a mess.
So it's an opportunity for India to establish a global blueprint. I mean, if they can solve the liability frameworks determining exactly who is at fault when a digital twin goes rogue, they basically set the standard for international AI law.
They absolutely have the potential to define it.
So what does this all mean? We've traced this from factory floor jet engine simulations all the way to trust managing digital ghosts.
Quite the journey.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the core thesis from advocate Manoj Ambat maps out this really clear historical trajectory. Every major technological revolution fundamentally rewrites the social contract and our legal rights.
It happens every single time.
Right. The Industrial Revolution didn't just give us mass production, it forced society to invent labor laws and workplace safety regulations.
Yep.
The advent of the internet didn't just give us email, it forced the creation of entirely new cyber laws and data privacy frameworks. And now, this artificial intelligence revolution is going to force humanity to invent identity law.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the societal debate has moved far past the question of whether AI is capable of perfectly replicating human behavior.
Right, because it's already doing it.
Exactly, it is already doing it.
Yeah.
The urgent challenge now is adapting our legal and cultural institutions to a bifurcated reality.
A bifurcated reality.
Yeah, moving forward, you will operate with two distinct identities: your biological, physical identity and your dynamic digital identity.
And the law has to catch up.
Fast. It must evolve at an unprecedented speed to ensure that both of those identities carry equal weight, demand equal consent, and offer equal protection.
Equal autonomy and protection for the physical you and the digital you. I love that.
It's the only way forward.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you, the listener, with a final lingering thought to just kind of explore on your own.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, we talked extensively about digital estate planning and how your twin might continue to learn and work long after you've passed away. So imagine your digital ghost is out there, processing newly discovered data, analyzing new market trends, and one day it invents something entirely novel.
Like a completely new invention?
Exactly. A revolutionary new chemical compound or a groundbreaking software algorithm. Now, under current law, an inventor must be human. So who owns the patent for a world-changing invention created by the autonomous digital ghost of a dead person?
It's a huge question.
Does the patent belong to your great-grandchildren? Does it belong to the corporation hosting the servers? Or, in a truly paradigm-shattering future, does the AI own the patent itself?
Things to keep you up at night.
Truly. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the legal frontier of digital twins. Keep questioning the systems around you, keep looking closely at the technology you interact with every day, because the laws governing tomorrow are being written right now. We'll catch you next time.
Subscribe to Ambat Legal Insight and stay legally informed with clear, practical, and reliable breakdowns of the law. Follow our channel and activate the bell icon so you never miss important legal updates, case analyses, and expert insights that matter to every citizen. Support our mission of spreading legal awareness by liking, sharing, and commenting, because your one action can help thousands become more legally empowered. Join the ALI community today across YouTube, podcast, and social platforms and take a step toward understanding your rights, your laws, and your justice. Ambat Legal Insight, because law is for everyone.